All right, welcome to Win the Day live stream, where we talk about how to win the day in real estate sales primarily. I think you can apply this to almost everything. We have Mark Simpson, Destiny Powell, and Julie Morris with us. Julie is in the lovely state of Arizona, city of Scottsdale. Mark and Destiny operate here out of Destin, Florida. Just in case you guys didn't know that. I am John Moran. I also operate out of Destin, Florida. And I have a team here, a real estate team. We actively sell real estate. Are you showing something or?
Yeah, we're on YouTube. So
okay, cool. Yes, we're on YouTube. First time ever, right? New year, new stuff. Okay, so let's get into it. What I want to talk about is lead gen. Sorry, but if you're in real estate sales, you got to deal with lead gen. All right. And I want to tell you how I have dealt with it over the years. I'll just tell you this. When I first started, I hired a coach right away, and I was fully committed to lead gen. I knew it, and I'm quite comfortable with it. And the result is at one point I had 43 listings by myself. I think it was 42, 43, something like that. No help, no assistant, no nothing, just big dumb me and a bunch of listings. But it was because I was really good at lead gen. I was dedicated to it, and I was into it. All right. So here's the thing about lead gen. And I know we all have anxiety about it, and we're all wondering about it, and we don't like to do it. And I get it. I'm kind of into it more than most people. And even, I don't like doing it most of the time, but I figured out how to get into it. Okay. But here's the way it works. I'm Kobe Bryant, basketball player, right? He was once asked, don't you get nervous or do you get nervous before games? He said, no, I don't. I don't know if I believe him, but he said, no, I don't, because I'm prepared. I've practiced. I'm ready. What's going to happen is going to happen. So I just go out and do what I do. All right. I don't know if he said that exactly, but that's the way it worked out. And I agree 100% with that. I know my lead gen success comes from the simple fact that I'm out of that athletics world too. Let me tell you what that means. I grew up playing sports, which means I had a coach, which means I practiced all the time, which means I had hundreds, if not thousands, of repetition over and over and over of certain things. All right. It was just what you did. Okay. And then I applied that background to my professional life. I got a coach. I practice, repetition. I've done the scripts more than once. So I go into my lead gen with very little anxiety because I know I'm prepared. So that's what I would tell you to do. You can get rid of your anxiety over lead gen, your nerves, your all that stuff by simply preparing like an athlete. And so here's the way it works. First thing you do is you got to know where you're going to do your lead gen. What neighborhood, what building, whatever. Where are you going to do this? You don't want to be thinking about it. You want to know in advance before your lead gen starts. I'm going to be working in this neighborhood for this period of time. Okay. And then you got to know what's going on in that neighborhood. You have to have confidence in your program yourself. All right. When I would do my lead gen, I knew where I was going, and I knew we were the best. All right. We closed more than 1,500 transactions, but at one point it was one, right? And I just knew that one, I was going to work harder than everyone else. That would make me better than everybody. And I had 100% control over that. I knew I was going to try harder, work harder, do more, do all that stuff. I just knew it. And if somebody hired somebody else other than me, they were getting a lesser option. And that came through my confidence. Okay. The third thing that helped me through lead gen and get started is I knew exactly what I was going to say. I've studied the scripts. I know the scripts inside out over and over and over. So I knew where I was going to go, who I was going to talk to, what I was going to say. And I was confident in what was behind it. And then what I would do is I give myself this little pep talk. All right. I'm from the athletics world. So I'm like, you got this, right? Affirmations, right? You're really good. You know what you're saying. You've been to every house. You studied the market. You know what you're doing. These people are crazy. They want you. They need you. Ready, go. right? And you walk out, oh, here we go, right? But you do it. And that helped me. So let's talk about it. What does that even look like? How do you prepare like an athlete? Well, you prepare, you practice, repetition. Okay. Scripts, role play over and over. Yeah, but I don't want to sound rehearsed. Bullshit. You do want to sound rehearsed, right? The only one you sound rehearsed to, quite honestly, is yourself. They don't know. They're not following along with your script, right? Unless you get another agent that's doing what you're doing. That's not the case, right? I've never had anybody go, oh my word, you are really well scripted. Mm-mm. No, they say, wow, you sound like you know what you're doing, right? So practice, role play. Study the market trends. The confidence you get when you understand what's happened in the market, what is happening in the market, and what you anticipate will happen in the market, your confidence goes way up and makes you excited to want to talk to people. Right? And you follow your scripts. Preview all the properties. This is nothing new. We talk about it over and over, but it's part of practice, repetition. Preview the properties because your confidence can go to the moon when you can compare and contrast at a very high level because you've been inside these properties, all right, for both buyers and sellers, okay? That's what you do. And then what that allows you to do is at the end of the day or at the beginning of the day when you start your lead gen, you go through it, okay, I know where I'm going. I know who I'm talking to. We're really good at what we do. I've been in all these properties. I know what's going on in the market. I know what I'm going to say. Let's go. Let's talk to them. They need to hear what I have to say. I got something to say. And your outcomes are just going to be so much better, right? So preparation, practice, and just go at it with confidence. Change everything for you.
And we can go down on each one of those things into a lot of detail and a lot of different focuses to get better at every single one of those items.
100%. Like, give me an example. So anything jumping out at you?
Yeah, with scripts. People think that the person hearing their script is going to recognize it. The only time someone recognizes it is if you stick to the script and not listen to their response. When you say something like, how are you doing? And they say, how can I help you? Instead of answering the question, don't say, that's good. Glad to hear that. Then people know that you're on a script, right? So just understand the first or second sentence and the goal of the conversation, and then listen. That's it. So have a conversation just like you do with everybody else in the world.
Let me help you with that. Here's the way it works. Practice your scripts. Know your scripts, because that allows you to listen as opposed to talk, right? You don't have to worry about what you're going to say because it's built in. So you can listen.
One of the things that I see with beginners when I'm coaching and I'm sitting with them and I'm watching them and they're going through their calls is they're so worried and anxious about what to say. They don't listen. They finish the call and they're like, oh, it's like they just did a 100-yard dash and they're breathing now. And they didn't hear a word that the caller said because they're so focused on what to say next. So
I'll give you another example of this. Have you ever met somebody and they say, hey, my name's Jim. Hey, Jim, I'm John. And then 30 seconds later, you have no idea what that person's name is. Yeah. 30 seconds, 4 seconds later, you have no idea, right? It's the same thing. You know, if you were to sell, where would you go next? And they tell you right over your head because you just can't process it.
You know, I go back to when I was in grad school, and literally when I had a client and I was first starting to see clients, I would sit in a room with real clients, but I had a bug in my ear and the professor in my class on the other side of the two-way mirror, and he was talking into my ear, and I was—
You sure wasn't one of those electrodes that they zap you every time you get it wrong?
And everything. But, you know, he would tell me what to say, and sometimes I had to just trust that, you know, but ultimately, you know, some novices or amateurs will practice until they get it right. Pros will practice it until they can't get it wrong. Then they know it. And that's what Julie's saying, is so knowing it that it doesn't throw you off when somebody answers. You can actually, you know, Kobe Bryant's no longer looking at the ball. He just knows to dribble.
It's natural.
It's natural.
Destiny, are you using scripts?
I do use scripts. I was going to say, just like what Julie and Mark are saying, practicing it, but practice with someone or record yourself. There's been so many times where Mark has been right over me while I'm making calls and saying, nope, do it this way, or change your tone, pause for a quick second. And you need that. And it's frustrating sometimes, but it's helped me. I get a lot of my business through circle dialing and using those scripts. Record yourself so you can hear how you sound, because that's how they're hearing you too. There's been plenty of times where I said, I need to lower my voice. I'm too high pitched. I sound too excited. So doing that really pays off for me as a newer agent.
Kimberly Potter, hello.
You got to come back to sports, and it's practicing. And, I think about when I was young, I water skied a lot, and it was literally every day. And we'd get out there and we were constantly, my brother and I, talking about what we did wrong and focusing on, this is the thing I did wrong. This is the thing I did wrong. And the thing is what we did wrong was so minuscule because we've been doing it so much every single day. We were fine tuning. If you master your scripts, you're going to get through every single conversation just by memorizing and having them naturally. It's not even, you don't even think about it. It's a muscle reaction. It just happens because you've done it so many times. You're not focused on that anymore. Your brain has that down subconsciously. You get to the point where you're just doing it subconsciously.
Let me say something more on that real quick, because I remember this. I've been doing this 20 years. I remember it like it was yesterday. Okay. My first calls, my first meetings, my first everythings. And I had the scripts, but I didn't follow them because they weren't me, right? It's not my personality. That's weird. It sounds scripted, all this stuff. So I wouldn't, I'd start with them a little bit and then I'd ad lib a little bit, right? I'd put my personality into it. And then I'd have my coaching call. My coach would be like, all right, let's go over the results. Yeah, I didn't have any results. Nobody did anything, right? No new listings, no new, whatever. Well, what's the problem? Yeah, I don't know. Well, let's go through the script. And then I'd go through it like 3 words. And it's like, pause, stop. What the hell's that? What do you mean? I don't see. Where's it say that in the script? I'd be like, oh, no, that's me just adding because I don't like the script. It's not my personality. He's like, all right. Stop. Let me ask you something, John. How many homes have you sold? Right. And I'd be like, 2. It's like, awesome. All right. Here's the thing. These scripts have been honed by professionals that have sold thousands, tens of thousands of properties. They're designed to elicit responses. They're designed to help you learn about what's going on. Your 2 sales, as awesome as they are, and I'm glad your parents sold one and bought one, but there's more out there, right? Stick to the script. And from that time on, I had a sheet. It was a picture of Mike Ferry, and it said, slow down and follow the script. And the reason why it says slow down is when somebody would say hello, I'd get all excited and start talking really fast, like a dog peeing all over the place when it gets excited, right?
And that's what everybody does when they're doing scripts. They're just trying to get through it as fast as they can so that they can and you're like, no.
Yeah.
Well, and we call it role play. If you want to get good at it, play with it. Stay to the words, but play with the different tones, play with the different speed, play with the different intensity. If you play or you're playful with it, you start owning it instead of just reading it over. And it's not about memorization. It's playing with the script until you find your personality in the script. Don't change the script.
Sean Harris, hi. Here, let me get into one more thing. She says, and how do you know if you're using the right script? Okay, so Buffini has them. Mike Ferry has them. Maps Coaching has them. I'm sure every brokerage has them. You have a just listed, a just sold, expired, a sphere of influence. They're out there. Go find them. They're all, if not exactly the same, very similar.
Use what's there. Don't try to perfect it until you've used it, and then you change 1 word at a time.
I wouldn't change anything. I use the same ones I learned day one.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, if you're wanting to get your personality in it, that's the intonation and how you speak. That's not
the way you change it.
The words. It's not. It's you use the exact script until you've mastered it.
Yep. Think of it like this: the Beatles.
when they walk into an open house, and it's always the same. Welcome in. How did you find us? And that's
Think of the Beatles. She loves you. Yeah. But you're going to change it. She loves you. Yep. It's a different thing. Don't do it. It's just use the words. They're perfected. They're intended for you to use. All right.
There's a reason they work.
Hey, Destiny, I'm going to take this another direction real quick. Part of the preparation is knowing the script.
Mm-hmm.
That'll give you massive confidence if you know what you're going to say and who you're going to talk to. The other leg on this thing is knowing your market. Are you previewing properties?
I do. I go preview properties. I try to at least once a week.
And are these in the markets you're trying to dominate or just random?
They are now, yes.
They're directed, right?
Yes.
So if you want to dominate a market, you pick the market, then you go preview all the properties in that market. Fair?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Correct.
Hard or easy?
So easy. It's a matter of calling the listing agent, asking, can I go preview your property? They never say no.
They never say no. Right? They're like, oh, dear Lord, somebody's interested. Thank God.
Mhm.
So yeah, go preview it. And then once you preview it, are you taking notes while you're in there about what the place looks like?
I normally take a video.
You do a video. Okay.
And sometimes it's good for content, just to show people I'm working and out previewing properties. Sometimes I'll send it to somebody I think might be interested in it, but at least I have that video record to reference.
Okay. So people, when you go preview, be intentional about what you're doing. Okay. Right. Maybe make a little sheet, a checklist before you go out and walk around the clipboard, whatever it takes. Okay. You want to know what the place looks like, feels like, how it hits you as you're walking in, what the vibe is, all that stuff. And write it down. Here's where it matters. Somewhere down the road in the future, that house is not going to be for sale. So you're not going to have access to what it looks like in the inside or whatever, except your own personal library will have it.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be able to access that. And that's information everybody else does not have.
And
If you write notes about what your reaction was, you'll go, it'll come back to you. You'll remember, and you'll have this incredible leg up over everybody else because you took the step to get prepared. Now here, I'm going to take you to the next step. So when you're doing lead gen.
Wait, come back to preview. I want to add something.
Okay, well, we will. Hold on one second. I'll come back to you. So when you're doing your lead gen and you know you've got this library of knowledge over here, you know what you're going to say, you know who you're talking to in that neighborhood, your confidence is massive and your anxiety starts to fall off quickly. What were you going to say, Julie?
So in previewing, if you want to do preview on steroids, if there's a particular neighborhood that you're interested in dominating, there's possibility now that we're back to a balanced or buyer's market versus a seller's market, that there are tours, broker tours. I know that in McCormick Ranch, there's a broker tour every Wednesday. So that's how you can preview on steroids, because they'll have anywhere from 6 to 10 homes back to back to back, and we're not in any home more than 10 minutes. That saves you a lot of time because you're not making the appointments, you're not opening the lockbox, you're not turning on lights, turning off lights. It's all done for you. So, and the home is presented in the best light for you. Plus, you're among realtors who are experts in that area.
So smart. They'll give you their opinion.
Knowledge from them. You can figure out, is this high? Is this low? Is this a dump? Is this, the top of the, pile? So that's where you can get knowledge and gain from other realtors, and you do it super fast. You're never in any house more than 10 minutes. And sometimes you even get free meal at the beginning or the end. So there you go.
Which is important when you're a broker realtor.
When you're a realtor, exactly. Free bread. Realtors will come.
And the feedback is so valuable. I had a listing and I put it on the broker tour, and the feedback that I got, I presented to my sellers, and they internalized it. They're like, we're not ready yet. But then when an offer came in that corresponded with the feedback from the broker tour, they jumped on it. So it's so helpful in so many ways.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Destiny, you're fairly new at this. I wonder, when did I stop saying that? But all right, you're still fairly new at this.
Yeah, soon.
Real quick, wrap this up. Lead gen, apprehension, anxiety, headaches, worry. I'll do it tomorrow twice as hard, but today I'm taking a break. Talk to the fairly new folks out there real quick about how you deal.
Well, right. And to answer even Sean's question, she asked, how do you know if you're using the right script? I think it kind of ties into what we're all talking about, being as prepared as possible as you can. So on Sundays, I like to think about what my week's going to look like. What neighborhood am I calling? That way I know what script I'm using. Am I trying to get a listing appointment this week? So that's a whole different script than an open house script. So there's different scripts based on the type of call that you're making.
Preparation.
And so it's mapping out that week ahead of time, so you know this is what I'm doing on Monday and Tuesday. On Wednesday, I'm doing my open house calls. Thursday, I'm prospecting around a listing that I already have. And so it's deciding what type of call you're making based on the week that you've planned, if that answers her question. But I think it just goes all into preparation and practice. I like what Julie said as far as, don't change the script, but change maybe your tone. I've mastered the art of the giggle. Mark has taught that several times. It softens the blow. It makes you sound human. And then it's okay to mess up. Again, we're human, and they know that.
They don't have the script. They don't know.
Have a script, and it's okay to stumble and stutter. I've done it 1,000 times, and I've even said, hey, let me start over again. And they're okay with that. So
I want to add something to what you're saying, Destiny. One of the first things you have to learn as a relatively new realtor, and even if you've been in it for 30 years, is the ability to say, I don't know.
Yes.
When you try to BS people, I was showing homes on Friday. We looked at 18 homes. I know that sounds crazy. It was 2 different buyers.
Let me try. Why did you do that? This is where you say, I don't know.
Yes, I don't know. So, but the point is we were in one particular listing, and when you get into the luxury market, the agents always want to meet you, which slows everything down, which makes me crazy. But they send typically brand new agents in there, and then they're supposed to be able to answer questions. That's why they're meeting you. And you walk in there and you have questions and they don't know the answers, and they try to BS you because they're dealing with these savvy buyers and savvy realtors, and they try to BS. Don't ever try to BS, because you never know what that person knows, and they probably know more than you. Mm-hmm. So don't BS. Just say, I don't know. Is that important to you? And by saying, is that important to you, they're going to tell you yes or no. They might be testing you. But when they say, yes, let me find out. I will find out. I have a whole team of people behind me that support me, and I will get the answer. It's okay to say, I don't know. I don't care how long you've been doing this. You don't have all the answers, period.
Love it. Mark, you got any last words?
Yeah, look, practice and play. Get somebody that's committed to the scripts. And then look, and just embrace that they're going to be jitters until they're not. It's just the way it is, but you'll never get to that place of comfort until you've done it a couple hundred times. And then you'll start going, I got this.
Nice. All right. So here to wrap it up, what I have found that works for me best is to be prepared, practice, and believe in yourself. And it comes through in spades. All right. I tell you what, I have a list of 10 thoughts that I use when I do my lead gen to get me in the right frame of mind, the proper mindset. If you want them, message me and I'll send you an email with them. You can
John, hold on. In order for them to get it, I think you ought to set a little task here. Go to YouTube and find John Moran Win the Day and subscribe to the YouTube channel and screen capture it and send that, hey, I subscribe to the YouTube channel. And what is it, John?
It's the 10 thoughts I go through to get ready mentally.
The YouTube channel. It's just simply
here, I'll put it on here.
Win the Day. So John Moran, go find it and make sure you like and subscribe. There we go. And
Win the Day podcast, John Moran. It's at YouTube.
Then message him and send it.
I'll send you it. It's just the thoughts I use to get my mind ready to go on the daily.
And don't forget to share it too.
Share.
I have a
Yep, there you
question
go.
for everybody, if they would be so kind. If you have any questions about scripts for open houses, or how to conduct an open house, or how to get people to an open house, or why you should do an open house, any question that you have about open houses, can you send us, because we're doing
what's it called? You can't fail?
Impossible to fail. So we're doing the Impossible to Fail open house protocol on this Wednesday, 2 days from now. So any questions that you have, any anxieties that you have, any objections that you have, will you email them so that we
We
can
could
be
answer 'em.
better prepared and hopefully answer your questions on.
Open houses are a big lead gen source right now, and Julie is a master.
That's one of
So-
the things that when we talk about scripts, it's totally scripted, and practicing scripts, practice by yourself, practice with another person. Watch other people role playing if you can. But if it's only you, just do it in the mirror, do it in your phone, record yourself, listen to yourself, but practice.
Love it. All right. Let's practice working right now. All right. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.